Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is with no little pride and a great sense of honour that I rise for the first time in this House, and I shall immediately make known the debt I feel to my constituents for sending me here. I hope the faith that they have shown in me will not be misplaced over the years. My constituency is Woodspring. Like many members of this House, I had several hundred letters after the election which said, "Congratulations on a wonderful Conservative result. By the way, where is Woodspring?" Those who have been in the House before will not be surprised to learn the reason they have not heard the name of this constituency more often is that I follow Sir Paul Dean, who spent a record length of time in this House as Deputy Speaker and has given great service to both the constituency, this House and the country. And I'm sure that all those on both sides of the House will join me in wishing him a very happy retirement. After the length of time that he's spent as Deputy Speaker, I'm sure that he more than deserves it. In fact, one of the great questions in Woodspring that is of immense pertinence is in fact its location. Because after the reorganisation of government in 1974, the people of Woodspring, who had always been North Somerset, found themselves in the much loathed county of Avon. And I take this opportunity to say to the government front bench that the quicker Avon is abolished, the better. And the quicker my constituents are returned to Somerset, which is where they belong, the happier they will be. And any government minister who can push this through nice and quickly will be assured of a very warm welcome when they come to speak in Woodspring. Woodspring extends from Portishead, south of Bristol in the northwest of the constituency, through Clevedon, Nailsea, the Chew Valley, and down to Poulton, a town which has particular difficulties in the wake of the Robert Maxwell affair. And like many members on this side of the House, we will be trying our best to get a fair deal for those who have suffered from the scandalous behaviour of Robert Maxwell and what he has done to these poor people. We also have several other problems in our constituency, courtesy of Avon County, not least of which is shared by many people on this side of the House, that of travellers' sites. And indeed, we do require some urgent reform of the 1968 Act, because it is becoming scandalous. It is becoming scandalous that law-abiding citizens who work hard to improve their community, their homes, their surroundings, should be discriminated against by a piece of legislation which gives priorities to those who have no semblance of regard for local community, no community spirit, and who contribute nothing. And I would urge the government to have a far-reaching and rapid reform of this particular piece of legislation. But Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is with some sadness that I come to speak in this debate, because as one of the many doctors who qualified under the Conservative government, the far-reaching Conservative revolution of health, I was disappointed, indeed disturbed, to find that the opposition, the very opposition who a few weeks ago in the general election told us that health was the single most important issue facing the electorate, who told us that the election was a referendum on the NHS, chose not to debate it in 6 days of the debate on the Queen's speech. Why has it slipped so far down the opposition agenda? Could it be the fact that they were rumbled during the general election, and because they have been shown to be posturing in the extreme with absolutely no solid opposition policies to the reforms that this side of the House have put forward over the years? That, Madam Deputy Speaker, is in fact the case. Because we on this side of the House don't need any lessons from our opponents about caring. We heard the word used today during health questions as though it was the exclusive preserve of the Labour Party, caring. Well, let me tell you that as a junior doctor, as a medical student, I took blood samples in taxis through picket lines during the health workers' strike carried out by Caring Newpie and Caring Cosy and supported by the Caring Labour Party. That was the extent of their caring. And in this great caring that they have, dragging up personal cases of misery, trying to find the one case that has gone badly in the National Health Service, and overlooking all the reforms and all the successes that we have had, they have resorted to the lowest form of political debate of all. And to try and say that every one case that has gone wrong is typical, it is indeed loathsome. We on this side of the House have brought into the health service for the first time since its inception the idea that preventative medicine is important. Before the GP contract came in, we were told by our opponents, by the BMA, by all those who opposed the now Home Secretary, whose bravery in bringing forward these reforms should now be attested to. We were told that when these reforms came in, we would lose the ability to see elderly patients. People wouldn't get the medicines they required. And what have we seen? Record numbers of immunisations, record numbers of women getting cervical smears, record numbers of elderly visits. And yet, when they're asked to tell us what's good about the Conservative health reforms, our opponents are unable to give us any examples at all. Madam Deputy Speaker, I look forward in the years ahead to giving them many, many examples. And I'm sorry that the Honourable Member for Livingston wasn't here tonight to listen to some of the positive aspects of Conservative health policy. It's about time that he realised that not everything the government does, even in his view, can be bad. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is, as I say, a great honour to speak in this House. And I hope that when we debate health policy over the coming months and coming years in this Parliament, that we will have a more constructive debate than we have had in the past. But in the words perhaps of the Leader of the Opposition, I fear it shall be a triumph of my fears over hopes. I hope that this side of the House will certainly contribute in a constructive way. It was an excellent Queen's speech, and this side of the House, especially those of us who are newcomers, look forward to the legislation which follows it, which will be good not only for our party, but more importantly for the country.
Mr. Tony Wright.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like, first of all, to congratulate you. I would then also like to congratulate both the speakers who spoke just before me, both the new Honourable Member for Coventry North East and the Honourable Member for Woodspring, who in their different ways were excellent. I'm particularly grateful to be